For the last couple of weeks, I've maintained roughly 10% body fat. This has been done through my diet, strength training, and of course cardio. And today, I'm going to take you through a full day of eating and show you some of the workouts that I've been doing. Let's roll the intro. As you can see, I start off every morning with a cup of coffee. It's my favorite time of the day. But honestly, we're going to go out today and we're going to be running a 5K as a part of my series. If you've been watching the shorts, then you know every day for the last 49 days, I've been running a 5K, and today is day 50. So we're going to go up to Wash Park. I'm going to get ready. Let's go do that. Today's fit is going to be blue Lululemon quarter tights along with an Under Armour t-shirt. And for my shoes, we're rocking the Cloudboom Echo 3s. Honestly, I didn't know a lot about running shoes whenever I first started this, so I kind of just picked the pair that I thought looked good and I knew of On Cloud, so I just kind of figured they made good running shoes. Can't complain. They're the same shoes that I ran the 5K every day for 30 days in, and honestly, they're holding up well. As far as supplements go, we are looking at vitamin D, my allergy meds, some magnesium, fish oil pills, creatine. Alright, no surprises, but new PR.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Hannah, what's that mean?
Coffee time.
Yeah, so the tradition is if I get a PR, we get to get a coffee. So I'm always motivated to get a PR on Sundays, so let's get to it. All right, we got our coffees. Hannah, how you feeling?
Really good.
Really good, she says. So we're gonna go ahead and get a grocery order and finally start eating, since this is supposed to be a full day of eating. For meal number one, we are looking at some Ezekiel bread with 4 over easy eggs, some blueberries, as well as some cheddar cheese on the side. Now you might be wondering why the meal is the way that it is, and I'm just gonna be honest. I threw this thing together. We ended up getting stuck at the park for a little while because there was a 5K going on, and the road that we parked on was actually blocked off for that 5K. So I was kind of throwing things together. I was initially gonna do scrambled eggs, I was gonna do an avocado, but the avocado that I had wasn't ready. So we're kind of just makeshifting here. But overall, the macros and calories are in a pretty good spot. Speaking of calories and macros, we're looking at 673 calories, to 53 grams of protein, 41 grams of carbs, and 35 grams of fat. So overall, a pretty decent meal, especially whenever you consider the micronutrients that you'll be getting from the blueberries, as well as the eggs, and then of course the cheese will provide a lot of calcium. And the bread is kind of a whole grain type bread. However, if I'm being honest, I use Ezekiel bread because I like the way it tastes, and it just kind of has like a nice fresh taste to it in my opinion. But if you wanted to replace this with something lower calorie, you definitely could. And as far as macronutrients go, the one that I prioritize the most is definitely protein. However, you can kind of make shift as you please, but for me personally, this works the best. Anyways, I am starving because we were chilling in traffic for a minute. I'm gonna finally eat meal number one about 5 hours into my day. I will see you all though in just a little bit. It's that time of the day to finally get in a lift. Let's go ahead and make our way to the garage. Today we got deadlifts, so it's gonna be a heavy day. I've been doing all of my heavy compound lifts raw, so no equipment. I will use chalk for this, but that's it, and I guess deadlifting shoes. So let's go ahead and get to it. and so is meal number 2. Right here we've got some sweet potatoes, some ground beef, some mushrooms, spinach, and some more cheddar cheese. This meal is going to be pretty nutrient dense with the spinach and the mushrooms as well as the sweet potatoes. Ground beef is also a great source for things like vitamin B, so I make sure to work it in at least once a day. Hey, Future Sean here. Yeah, I got my calories and macros wrong because I forgot to add the cheese into MyFitnessPal, so let's go ahead and go over them now. For meal number 2, our calories are 543, and when we're looking at our macros, it's 45 grams of protein, 51 grams of carbs, and about 21 grams of fat. In my opinion, this is a well-rounded post-workout meal with a lot of carbs and protein. We do have some fats, but it's primarily, the carbs and the proteins to restore glycogen and also make sure that we're maximizing protein synthesis. And that essentially rounds out meal number 2. I'm sure you can tell by all of the bowls and things behind me. I still have to do my meal prep. I am a little bit behind today, so wish your boy some luck. I need to get this done, but I need to eat first, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But I will see you all at meal number 3. All right, meal prep is done. Thank God for wives. My wife helped me out so much with that. It made my life a lot easier. And now I'm gonna eat meal number 3. What we've got here is some watermelon, some strawberries, pineapple, as well as some Greek yogurt. The purpose of this meal is to kind of make up for some of the micronutrients with the strawberries. Pineapple and watermelon do have some, but they're not as micronutrient dense as maybe some other fruits. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat this, but first let's go ahead and look at our calories and our macros. For our calories, we have 227 total calories. As far as our macros go, we only have about 19 grams of protein, 41 grams of carbs, and about 1 gram of fat. However, I'm okay with this. The Greek yogurt provides about 15 grams of protein, so it is coming from a dairy source that provides a full amino acid profile when it comes to the protein, so that's good. Also, even though it's not excessively heavy in protein, it is pretty micronutrient dense, as I mentioned before, and that's really the purpose of this meal. I'll probably have a fruit bowl a little bit later on today, or at least some fruit throughout the day. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and eat this, but I will see you all at meal number 4. All right, it is dinner time. Meal number 4 is served, and we've got some sweet potatoes, some carrots, cauliflower, broccoli. We've got a little bit of hummus and some feta cheese sprinkled on top. I don't know if I mentioned this, but chicken is the protein of the night. Before we go any further, I will call myself out. I didn't really diversify a ton when it came to the carbs today, and that's my fault. But I am gonna use the cop-out of the fact that sweet potatoes are super nutrient dense, so even though it is a little bit redundant, we're gonna stand by that. Maybe if you're watching this, consider, mixing in some rice and some of these meals to kind of diversify a little bit. Otherwise, you might get, kind of sick of what you're eating. But if I'm being honest, the Irish in me just love sweet potatoes. Really, any potatoes for that matter. Anyways, that's enough yapping. Let's go ahead and see what our calories and macros break out to. For our calories, we are looking at 445 calories. 38 coming from protein, 49 coming from carbs, and 12 coming from fat. I'm not super macro conscious. The only thing I'm really worried about is hitting my protein goal, which is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you're new to the channel, that might be new to you, but if you're not new to the channel, then you already knew that. I'm not a big fan of hitting 200 grams of protein just for the sake of hitting that number. There's nothing really wrong with it, just to be clear. I just think it's kind of a weird rule of thumb. For most people, it's easy to remember a gram of protein per pound of body weight instead of just putting an arbitrary number on how much protein you need at the very minimum. Anyways, with all of that said, I'm gonna go ahead and eat this meal. Very excited about it, but I'll see you all at meal number 5. Meal number 5 coming at you, and as you can see, we've got some rice cakes with some kiwi, some strawberry, 2 servings of PB Fit, some cinnamon, and some honey. This looks and smells so good. The colors are super aesthetic, and I can't wait to eat this. Also, kiwis, super micronutrient dense, so that's why I'm trying to throw those in every single day if I can. Every now and then we will run out of them, but for the most part, I've been pretty good about divvying them up throughout the week. This probably won't be my last meal for the day, but it might be my favorite. It literally looks so good. For the calories and macros on this meal, we are looking at 548 calories, 21 grams of protein, 107 grams of carbs, and 10 grams of fat. There's not a whole lot to this meal if I'm being honest. It's just a good micronutrient dense meal. It's not crazy high in protein, and the protein does come from the PB Fit. However, I think it's a good tasting meal that just ends the night perfectly. With that said, I'm at about 2,400 calories, even though it is a little bit later on in the day, so I do have some calories to kill. Given the fact that I need about 300, I'm going to do a little bit of brainstorming while I am throwing down these rice cakes, but I will see you all at meal number 6. For the first time ever on this channel, I actually had to turn the camera back on just to give you an update. That's how good these things are. They hit harder than Ray Lewis in his prime. They are unbelievable. It tastes like a healthy Pop-Tart. Super good. Just had to throw that in there. Now I will see you at meal number 6. Alright, meal number 6 coming at you, and we have 2 servings of Catalina Crunch with a Premier protein shake, the cinnamon roll flavor, and I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty good tasting meal. Now don't get me wrong, I do think my last meal was impeccable, it was so good, but this is a really nice late night snack, especially if you're like me and you grew up eating cereal every single morning. And honestly, on a lot of different nights as well. For the calories and macros on this, we are looking at 380 total calories, 52 coming from protein, 31 coming from carbs, and 13 grams of fat. That means for the day, we are looking at 2,779 total calories, 228 coming from protein, 311 coming from carbs, and 91 grams of fat. And just as an added bonus, 45 grams of fiber as well. There are a couple of disclaimers here, the first one being that, as I mentioned before, I probably could make some different adjustments to my meals to make them a little bit more flexible. One adjustment would definitely be adding an avocado to my breakfast and probably one of the meals later on in the day as well. Then there is the carbs that I mentioned before. Having different carb sources definitely helps, so I think meal number 2 I'd do rice if I could do it over again, but you live and you learn. Overall, I feel like this is flexible enough to accommodate most people's lifestyles, and it's full of different, whole foods, whether it's fruits, vegetables, the potatoes, the proteins. They're all really just natural whole foods that you can get at any grocery store. But then again, we have meals like this where I can eat a high protein cereal. It's gonna taste great, and of course it'll be nice if you're having a few calories left over to kill. Another thing to keep in mind is running a 5K every day does burn a lot of additional calories. Because I'm a little bit more active, I'm able to maintain my physique. Eating like this, I do post full days of eating every single day to hold myself accountable to you all so that you can see, what I'm actually eating like on a daily basis. This isn't super uncommon for me. I might have a creamy at the end of the day versus the cereal. However, I keep things relatively flexible on some meals, and then on others, I tend to stick more towards the whole food side. Anyways, hopefully this provided some, valuable insights on what I eat in a day and provides a little bit of inspiration for you moving forward. And if you made it this far, know that I appreciate you. It really does mean a lot to me that people are making it this far in the videos. And as you can see, there is a video popping up on the screen right now. This is the one that YouTube recommended just for you. So with that said, until next time, keep it together.